here on the back of it, you know, and that's something that you can refer to. It's different on every panel. Most Honeywells are the same, and the Demcos are usually the same as Honeywell. DSCs are different, and you know, so on and so forth. So anyways, refer to this if you don't know what wires in here go where. So I'm going to take a minute here and label all of these wires from start to finish. This one here, just, you know, so you guys know, this is your power wire, which runs into the box and then down to your power source here. So first thing you generally want to do is unplug that. Make sure you don't have any power going to it so that you don't get electrocuted or shocked, you know, because it is low voltage. And then you want to undo your battery. Just undo this black and this red here, and that way you know that the system is completely dead. Okay? Let me see if I can post this up right here. Alright, so hopefully everybody can see. So your old battery, you're going to pull out, put it over here, out of the way. You're going to undo your power source here. Put that right there. Alright, now I'm going to begin labeling my wires. So this one, because it doesn't go into the wall, I don't really need to label this, but that's your power source there. So I'm moving on to terminals 3 and 4 here. You know, that's generally your either your auxiliary or your bell, but referring to our diagram here, it's the alarm output, which is the bell output. So this wire here, I'm going to label B. And it's B for bell. Your next ones here on this particular panel, generally you're going to have your keypad wire, and then if you've got a code encryptor, you're going to have that here. Which code encryptors, there's a few different types. There's one that is for a smoke detector. There's another one that is just for picking up wireless zones. So if your front door was wireless but the rest of your system is hardwired, that code encryptor would take that wireless signal and transform it into a signal that this panel can understand through these wires here. So anyways, these wires are an encryptor, okay? And on our new system, we will not be using an encryptor at all. So these wires do not need to be labeled. The other set of wires that's on here is your keypad wires, okay? And those are important because you are going to use those. So you'll write just KP on those wires there. So keypad wires. And then starting from number 8 and moving over here all the way to number 16, those are all your zones. And generally on Honeywell, the way that it goes is you got your highs and then your low. You got your low and then your high, and then you got low, high. Let's see here. Let's see, 8, 9. Oh yeah. All right. So 8 here. So this is your high, low, low, high, and then you've got low here. No, I'm sorry. High here, low here, high here, double low, and low here, or high here, sorry. So anyways, what that means is basically the positive and the negative of each zone individually. So starting at number 8, terminal number 8, this right here is zone number 1. So I'm just going to put a 1 right there on that little resistor, and then that loops with this, that loops to this wire, and then it runs into here, which is where the common is. So you've got your high, and then your low, your double low, okay, which this should really, there should only be one common in here, okay, one common wire, there should not be two. you know, the terminal number 13 and 16, those are for your doubles, your double lows. Oh, sorry. So on this board, that's why it's different. Zones 9 is double low. Terminal 12 is double low. Terminal 15 is double low. So that's why they've got it that way. That's why it was a little confusing there. So anyways, on usual Vista 20s and Vista 15s, you're not going to see it like this. You'll see high, low, low, high, high, low. And 13 will be double lows, and then 16 will be double lows. So anyways, so you've got your zone 1, and basically you're just going to go down the list here. So you got your commons here. So this is going to be your zone number 2. So you're just going to find that resistor right there and label that zone 2. You've got this one here. You're going to label that zone 3. And then you've got a double low here, which is your 2 commons. And then you're going to go to 13. Okay, and this one is going to be zone number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This next one here, that's going to be zone number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you've got zone number 6 here. Okay, so you just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Then your last terminals on here, these are your phone lines, you know, or your cell unit lines that run into the keypad here. Okay, or run into this panel. And so those we are not going to be using. However, you do want to make sure that if the customer has a home phone, when you unplug this and you snip this wire, because you are going to need to fit it through this hole, that they still have dial tone. So check their phone before you cut it, and then check it after they cut it. If there is still dial tone, you're good. Another thing that I've seen happen is their internet will go down if you snip this and don't crimp it back together properly. Okay, so make sure you check that. So we're just gonna unplug this from here. My customer currently does not have a home phone, so we're not worried about that. Okay, and then we're basically gonna go down the line here, and we're just gonna undo all of these. While I'm doing this, if you are just starting out learning how to do this, and you are working with Honeywell, Ademco, DSC, anything, any kind of board inside of a hardwire box, make sure that you do not mount this board so that it can come off. Make sure that it's mounted on there properly. As you can see, whoever did this board was just in a hurry, and that leaves, you know, sometimes these will touch the metal and that can short out. It just leaves you with a bad system, really. So make sure you're doing it properly. Okay, so once we got our board out there, all these wires are now just hanging out. We can remove all the wires that we don't need. So, you know, our wires for this code encryptor up on the top of the box here, right there. We don't need that, so we're going to remove it. All right, so now we've got majority of our wires cleaned up here. You've got a couple wires that are running back into the wall. Those are probably just additional keypad wires that are ran throughout the house. Additional motion detectors, detector wires, smoke detector wires, that kind of stuff. A lot of the newer homes are pre-wired with all smoke detectors and some extra motion wires throughout the house. So we're going to take off this code encryptor at the top. That way it's out of the way. Just snip this wire here. Generally when you do this, you can put a box on the floor with your old 2 gig box. That way you don't make too big of a mess. Alright, now we're going to undo these screws. Alright, and that comes right off the wall. If you don't have a box, you can use this box, the panel you just pulled off the wall, as your trash bin. Okay, so something that I'm going to go over with you as well is prior to starting my install, I did a walkthrough of their house and checked all their windows because it is pouring rain right now. I wanted to see which ones were soaking wet and which ones are not. And we basically got all the front windows are soaking wet, which is zone number 5. All the master bedroom windows are soaking wet, which is number 6. And then we had the 2 back bedroom windows, those are soaking wet, and that's zone number 3. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take zone 3, zone 5, zone 6, and we're going to remove that from the system so that all they've got is their kitchen and family windows, their front windows, patio door, front door, and garage doors. And then we're going to add 11 new wireless window sensors to their house, as well as another door sensor to their outside garage door. Okay, so I like to make this box look real clean. These wires here that were unused, we are going to basically just, I always wrap them together so that way they're all bundled, and that's, you know, if you ever need them, you know right where they are, because you'll pull one of them and all of them will come with. So you'll just wrap them like this. Alright, and then we're going to push that back in the wall. Okay, and so basically it's not like, you know, it's not like when you push it in the wall it's gone forever. You can just reach back in there through the hole on your panel and reach in the wall and grab them. So we said zone numbers 3, 5, and 6 we're going to remove. So we're going to go in here, this is zone 1. This one's zone 3 right here. Okay, so that's number 3.